outside the ring. There's again, table. There will possibly be a table there that might or might not have something to do with the match. Come out and see us. Want to say thank you again to everybody in the chat. Thank you to the boys for being here tonight. I want to say thank you to Ross and the boys from Labor 12 for being here. With these guys every time.
We're there.
Okay.
I'm curious because I'm like, how are they gonna make someone? Because all the promos they've done to build him up, I'm like, the way that Sammy's been taking shots for Roman Reigns, the only real shot he's given back is a shot with the chair, and then he just got mollywopped. He's never been the guy who just comes out and messes people up.
What do you get?
And can overpower Roman Reigns. What?
What do you get?
Wally mopped, obviously.
Well, yeah. So.
All right, so it looks like we're having a couple of issues.
Oh my gosh! All right.
Oh, there we go. Now we got some.
I told you, I'm adulting better than him already.
All right, Hunter, say ass.
What?
Say ass.
No.
You're an adult. Come on, don't be scared.
You're an adult. You can say ass now.
No.
See, he's been a good boy.
We need to talk about that.
Tickle.
That's how the saying goes.
What? Wink, wink, nudge, nudge, tickle, tickle. I think, Rick, if be concerned if he ever comes to you talking about tickle, tickle. Just, I mean,
hey,
I don't.
All right.
I'm not sure what's going on there.
At the hour and a half mark, I think we've gotten a little.
You don't have to. Please just let me finish the conversation. I don't want to do this. I don't. Look at this! This belongs to me! Not you! None of this! Jim, this belongs to me! Me! I earned this! Not you!
So are we seeing a shift to all your heavyweight stuff on Raw and your high flying luchador stuff on SmackDown?
I can tell you that is charcuterie because Ricochet is on Raw. Okay.
It's not shark.
That is a bunch of shark.
All right.
Well, yeah. With that, we're at.
I mean, beat him down and did so ugly.
Yeah, it did him so bad that he came home after one BCW outing and was like, Emilio Guzman, that's my man. Till today, wearing a War Chief shirt. So you saw how messed up.
Emilio, I got love for you, bro, but it's a cool shirt.
You see how messed up that walloping was, but
really, I was gonna say apparently there's some kind of football game going on tonight. Huh?
Thaddeus and Elise, they owe me and Malia dinner now, so get ready.
W right there.
So it sounds like it's a pretty solid
Raw. We appreciate all you guys. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you guys. Yeah, and it was a great Raw. Like it was, I kind of took a break from wrestling for a little bit, but I started getting into it again this Thanksgiving, and it has to be this man chilling in the ring with two torn freaking quads. And just still yelling at it, you're fired, pretty much. Like, just getting there, like, dogging on everybody, not even able to stand. Like, that's right not there.
Raw.
Well,
that was Royal Rumble. Still, though, that moment when he slides in and goes to stand up and just sits down against the rope. What you think?
So The Rock is on Buddy's list. The Rock is on my list. The Rock is on your list. The Rock is on our
What's up, everybody? Welcome to this week's episode of the Not Your Average Mark Wrestling Podcast. I'm your boy Guapo. Sitting right over there is the boys that bring the noise. Baby Bruss, Little Guapo. Guys, what's up?
What's up?
And of course, sitting in with us, we've got our special guest host, the one, the only, the man himself, Mike Caldwell. Mike, what's going on, man?
Man, it has been a busy week.
I can only imagine. I do not envy you getting ready for this show. It's going to be a good one, and we're going to go all through it here shortly. Before we do, got to get into a few thank yous. Want to thank Ross and the boys from Labor 12 for our intro-outro music. Track's called Head Rush. Album's called Monsters. Make sure you're checking that out. They've got some new things going in the works, so we're gonna have some new stuff from Labor 12. You want to check it out, laborxii.com. Go check them out. Also want to give a quick thank you out to American Legacy. You know, our boy Joseph taking care of us as far as the merch goes. You guys are going to get to see some new cool stuff coming up real soon. So I want to say thank you to American Legacy. And thank you to Sarah for subscribing with Prime. And it looks like we've got Catch My Hoove following as well. What's up? Glad to see you in tonight.
The Hoovester.
Looking over at the chat, we've got Amino in chat. We've got apparently the Hoovester. It's
Speaking of, guys, everyone that's in the chat for like our little early bit here, like really, we're being serious. Like not just because they help us with our intro. Labor 12 goes hard. If y'all go to the gym, put on some Labor 12. Trust, and that'll be on the playlist for the rest of your life. And it gets you pumped.
He ain't lying. He ain't even lying. It's good music. So
He ain't lying about the music being good. He is lying about going to the gym.
All right. Like you know anything about it. Lucky around down. Stomach on the
this is what I have to
ground.
deal with on a daily basis. Oh, we got Money Bags in the house tonight. Money Bags, what's going on? Money Matt.
Money man. Heck yeah.
So it's been
Also,
kind of a
Mike,
crazy week. Go ahead.
I want to say I do definitely understand that this week has probably been hell for you, but I hope that, you know, tomorrow being the day before the show, you can kind of get a little bit of solace that night, you know, be able to go to bed and just let everything go and be like, well, we're going to put on a product tomorrow. Can't really change too much about it. So
You already know Scar is handled, so that's all that really matters.
you got to worry about that.
Yeah, we're going to talk all about that here shortly. But man, it's crazy week. Like we've had SmackDown, we've had Raw, we've had Dynamite, which we'll talk about that in a minute. And of course, we've got some shows coming up this weekend and next weekend that we're going to talk about. But let's get into a little bit of week in review real quick. We've got some SmackDown happened last Friday. I kicked it off with Kevin Owens, Santos Escobar getting a chance to face Logan Paul at the Rumble, whoever wins the match. I really like what they're doing here because Kevin Owens is in that full prize fighter mode now. You know, we're back to fight Owens fight, and that's the version of Kevin Owens I think I've liked the best. So I'm glad that we're going back to that. And he's, you know, the whole broken hand thing, it's getting the fans behind him. They were able to push forward the whole LWO thing by having Joaquin Wilde and Cruz del Toro come out and attack Garza and Carrillo, and it didn't take anything away from the match. So I thought that was good. KO gets the win with the stunner. Logan Paul gets in the ring, starts running his mouth because, let's face it, that's what Logan Paul does. And Kevin Owens just lays him out. But as good as the match was, I think the biggest part for me, the best part of that match was Corey Graves. He's telling Logan Paul's at commentary. He tells Logan Paul, says, don't ever, never, ever try to superplex Kevin Owens. And Logan Paul just looks at him with this dumbfounded look and says, or what? Corey Graves doesn't miss a beat. He's just straight-faced as can be, says, this. And right as KO drops Escobar on his head. It was the
It was-
funniest thing
I
I
mean-
saw all night. I loved it.
And it's another thing for all of you not big into wrestling guys that are out here. It's so great to see, like stuff like that come out of, a planned spot and get to people just getting to have fun with it, getting to take it that extra step. And I mean, it's great to see that it's still, moving forward with comedy, moving forward with the dramatics with every show. I mean, that's what I love the most about it.
It is cool to have that. I mean, it's more of a fan interaction than it is a part of the show, and it's something that's been missing for a while. So I'm glad to see it there.
Yes.
We went on from that to a segment with Karrion Kross. Karrion Kross bringing out the authors of pain. Of course, Bobby Lashley and the Street Profits already out there. Paul Ellering steps from behind Karrion Kross, and for those of us that are a bit more seasoned in the wrestling world, I don't know about y'all, but I popped whenever Paul Ellering stepped out. I thought that was awesome.
I mean, authors of pain do not work without him. I mean, they tried it, and what happened? They flopped and failed, got fired, and they were one of the hottest tag teams on NXT with him. And I think it's only right you bring all of them back and give this another go. So.
Well, and I think that this is the storyline for it. Of course, they laid waste to everybody, and I think if I read it right, they're going to call themselves the Final Testament. So
Yeah,
I think it's good to have Akam and Razor back with Paul Ellering and Karrion Kross in a good storyline. So it's going to be good. It's going to be a good program, but I need to talk about Paul Ellering for just a second.
All right.
I've dug him all along. I think he's the perfect manager. He's got that manager character. But they zoomed in when they went to commercial as they were standing on the stage, and they zoomed in on Ellering, and he had this look on his face. And the only thing I could think of with the look on his face is, you remember back in the day when we were little kids, and your mom used to tell you, don't make your face like that or it's going to stay that way. I think that's what happened to Paul Ellering. Like somebody slapped him in the back of his head and his face just stayed that way, because I can't explain the look. It was something else, but I am glad to see them back. So I do have to ask you, Mike, like you've seen Paul Ellering from back in the day with, LOD, stuff like that. What was it like for you to see him step out?
It was definitely an experience. I mean, just seeing him, I kind of had it was a little bit of foreshadowing, because I knew, kind of put two and two together. If he's there, then AOP is going to be there. But I did not expect them to show up behind Lashley and the Street Profits.
Yeah. I really think they're going to work a good program with them. Now, let me ask you guys this, and this is a question for you guys, for the people in the chat. So you've got the Street Profits, or the new Hurt Business, as it were, with Bobby Lashley and the Street Profits. You've got Karrion Kross and AOP. Do we at some point see maybe a trios title kind of thing going on?
That's kind of what I was thinking.
It's most definitely too early to tell, in my opinion. I think that it's pushing it a little bit to suggest that, but at the same time, like I've said in multiple of our shows before this, that there's a lot of like oversaturation of talent to screen time right now, where there's a lot of great talent all the time. So getting something like a new title would be this would be a good time to do it, because there's a lot of talent everywhere, and only so many people can go for a title. So many people can be that high card name when they already have high card talent. So I don't know. I would love it, but it's a little sketchy to me, just because they have a lot on their plate right now that I don't see it coming soon if it does.
My thing is too, it's just gonna you have these few trios that are good and they work, the Street Business and AOP and Karrion Cross, and they need people to go against. So it's going to be, well, let's put these three people together, and let's put these three people together, and let's just. It's gonna. I just don't see it. There's not enough to work with right now to do
Well,
a trios.
My thing is,
they would be very unwise to do the same thing that they did with the women's tag division this soon after all the like outrage from it.
well, and I get that, but to your point, buddy, I get, if looking for people for them to go after. I mean, if you look at it right now, the Bloodline is a trio. AJ Styles and the Good Brothers are a trio. I mean, there are trios out there that they can go against. My question and why I'm wondering if that's going to become a thing is, of course, we've all read, we've all heard SmackDown's going to be moving to USA Network. The fact that they're going to USA Network means they're most likely going to move SmackDown to a 3-hour show, because that's USA Network's thing. That's what they want, is a 3-hour wrestling show. That's why Raw's 3 hours. So if you're going to bring SmackDown to a 3-hour show, do you add this extra trios title to kind of bolster the talk about it?
I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but Raw and SmackDown have the same amount of titles on both brands.
They do,
And
but you're also going to be adding an extra hour, so you've got to have something to do with it, or you just end up with filler matches.
But Raw has that extra hour, and what are they doing with it?
That's what I'm saying. Is Raw? They both have the same amount of titles, but Raw has that extra hour, and they make it work. Like I said, the issue right now is there's so much great talent and not enough to do with it. So yes, they could go the trio route, but like Lil Guapo said, I don't think they would do it because there's not enough in that department when they could put more effort and more time into, the Bronson Reeds, the Johnny Garganos, the Otis, like those people that deserve to have their time.
And those are guys that are just going to end up getting thrown into something to become a 3-man team for one of the few 3-man teams to wrestle.
Well, I mean, they're already kind of there. You take Ciampa and Gargano, put Dexter Lumis with them, and you've got, your DIY trio.
I will give you this, though. I would love to see a trio title because, me personally, just growing from where I've grown up in wrestling, the stables that I saw were, way back in the day. And then the next time that I really can remember, like a good more than tag team was, the Shield and the Wyatt family, like that type of stuff. And I loved that. And I don't think, we wouldn't be able to do that with the amount of people that we have, especially with how great NXT's been. I mean, if we need to bring a couple people up to, have those DIY trios. I'm just afraid it's going to end up like the women's tag division, but there is a chance that it doesn't, because like I said, there's a lot of talented guys out there.
There is, and I'm going to look over here at Mike now, because I saw that when I said something about a trios title or about SmackDown going to 3 hours, I saw a little bit of a wince there. What do you got for it, Mike?
Yeah, see, the 6-man matches that you're referring to with the Shield and Evolution, et cetera, the Wyatt family, those are special attraction deals. If we end up normalizing the fact that we're going to have a 6-man title or trios title, or however you're going to word it, if you have that, then you're taking the specialness away from it, and it's just becoming another participation trophy, basically. We have that already on the other program and if you look at things, you can see the decline over the 2-hour period that they have, because they have just so much that they're throwing at you. And right now, it's the exact opposite with WWE. they're gaining momentum as they go into these quarter hours.
I agree.
Right now, I don't think too much change is going to be a good thing.
We've got Wildcard over in the chat saying, I think having the Freebird rule was played with more is better than trios. And that's not a bad idea.
Yeah.
I mean,
I do like your take there, Mike, because it definitely does eliminate the issues that we're finding with a trios title. Because like you said, it would become, that filler participation trophy kind of feel to it, as opposed to, you see the Shield, you see the blood, like you said, the bloodline, like they're already a trio, but they've been like a trio, a stable, all of this for a minute. And it's a special thing. It's not a, the Judgment Day and the Bloodline go at it for a title. It's they make their own difference in the confines of the normal contest. And yeah, I do agree with you, Mike, that changing that right now with how well things are going might not be the best idea.
I can go with that. Now, you had said something, Bruss, about the idea of bringing people up from NXT, and I'm glad you brought that up because we've got a match to talk about with that. Pretty Deadly versus Butch and a debuting Tyler Bates. I'm so happy to see Tyler Bates finally on the main roster. I said it nearly a year ago that I thought he should have been in the draft as one of the call-ups. And so you get this match, and they're going up against, of course, Pretty Deadly, and they just flat out, without question, out-wrestled them. The match ends whenever Tyler hits the Tyler Driver 97. The place goes wild. Loved every bit of that. I like where they're going with this. I like the idea of Butch and Tyler. But here's my thing. I don't like the Butch moniker anymore. I think they need to get rid of it. I think it needs to go back to being Pete Dunne, because that we all know he's Pete Dunne. It is what it is. And the whole Butch thing doesn't work without the rest of the Brawling Brutes. And Sheamus is gone, and he's not, the other one went down to NXT for a little while. It doesn't work without the rest of them. So he needs to drop that Butch moniker and just let the magic happen.
I'm with that. I agree. Yeah, definitely. Butch doesn't work without the Brawling Brutes, and I think it's hard to just I don't know, just it's hard to rebrand somebody again. Even like you said, granted, we all know Butch is Pete Dunne, and maybe it's not an issue, but to like the casual fan who knows, didn't watch NXT, and Butch starts coming out as Pete Dunne, and they're like, what? Why? I don't know. I could see it being great, and it could also be a momentum killer at the same time, but not like he has a lot of momentum to kill right now.
Yeah.
So if there's any time to do it, then just do it now.
Yeah. That's exactly what I'm thinking with the what harm can it really do, because he doesn't have too much really going for him right now. But what you're explaining right now of how the average person would feel like seeing that is exactly how I felt for about 2 months when Mick Foley, Cactus Jack, Dude Love, Mankind all came into the WWE, and I was like, what? So, and that's a legend right there. So it obviously can work.
It just happened with Max Dupree.
Yeah.
And now Max Dupree is the megastar, LA Knight. Yeah. It could be the complete opposite, and just you don't become the megastar, and everyone's like, who the hell is Pete Dunne? And
either way, if that is the case, it allows for a sort of refresh for him. If you ask me, I think he needs it. I don't know. I haven't been a big fan of his character for a little bit. I think it's a very niche thing, and I feel like he has a lot more that he should be building on that he's not. So
Well, and Rick in the chat saying that he doesn't see the difference in changing the name because it's just semantics, and I get that. I mean, it is a semantics thing. It doesn't work for me. Like the Butch character, like the big part of storytelling telling is character development, and the Butch character is part of the Brawling Brutes, and the Brawling Brutes aren't a thing anymore. So it just kind of makes me wonder. And Rick makes a point: is Pete Dunne or Butch any more than a utility player? He could be. I mean, this whole thing he's got going with Tyler Bates could turn into a pretty solid tag team. They had real good chemistry, I thought. Mike, you want to weigh in on that?
I could see it working if you were to have maybe like a backstage promo going on with them, and since they teamed up in NXT, basically have Tyler look at him and go, "Look, I just can't call you Butch. I know you as Pete Dunne. You're going to be Pete Dunne, and I'm going to call you Pete Dunne, and then that's that." And then at that point, they can kind of work into it. But other than that, it's just really, really Rick's right. I mean,
that's
why we also used to call Gunther Walter. So, and now it's normalized that he's Gunther.
What were you going to say, son?
I mean, that's why we're so lucky to have you on the show, man. That's like none of us came up with that. Like that's your mind right there, your booking mind just going crazy, because that would be awesome, And I mean, that's sick.
And I'm not at all comparing changing Butch's name to LA Knight. I don't. I agree with you 100% that whether his name's Pete Dunne or his name's Butch, he's a guy getting booked in the first hour of SmackDown in a throwaway match every week. That's what's happening. Yep. But I was just saying that, a name change can benefit sometimes, but I do not at all think Butch and Pete Dunne is a scenario in which it would benefit anybody.
Well, and I'm interested to see where they go with it, but we also had a match for the women's strap, Michin versus Io Sky. And the big deal about this match for me, it was a good match all around. I mean, these ladies both have great chemistry. They work really, really well. But my big thing is the WWE is giving the women's division longer matches. Like, this wasn't a 3-minute match. This went through a commercial break. And it's allowing better storylines. It's allowing better angles, longer matches, and giving a chance for the ladies to shine. And I'm about that. Of course, we got the interference we all knew was coming, and Io won the match. But it put both of them over. Because, I mean, even in the loss, Michin looked great. Just absolutely great. So I like the fact that they're doing that. We got Devin Coley coming in and getting the follow in there. And we appreciate you showing up, man. He's saying in the chat, I think Butch changing his name would be like Mia Yim or Dewdrop. People will question it, but in the end, they'll accept it.
Yeah. Yeah, because like Lil Guapo and Rick were saying, I mean, he's a utility player at the end of the day. So I mean, no one's really going to be too pressed.
Our boy Jeb in the chat saying, in a marketing standpoint, sometimes it's best to just leave it alone.
Good take. W take.
So getting back to the women's match, I think that was a really good match, and I like the fact that they're starting to push the women's division a little more, which brings us to the match that everybody was waiting for all night. AJ Styles versus LA Knight versus Randy Orton, the winner of the match, going against Roman Reigns at the Royal Rumble. So the match didn't disappoint. Bottom line, it was great. These guys by themselves are just absolute beasts of talent. But you put all of them together and, you're going to get something phenomenal. See what I did there? Phenomenal.
Oh my goodness.
The cool thing for me was there was times throughout the entire match that I thought each person actually had it, like they were fixing to take it. And it's been a while since the WWE's been able to do that to me. Like, you had LA Knight LA Knight countered the RKO and hit the I forgot what it's called,
Yeah.
blunt force trauma on Randy Orton. And I thought he had it right up until AJ Styles grabbed the referee's arm and held it. You had Randy Orton hit the RKO on Styles, and then LA Knight broke it up. You had Randy Orton had Styles dead to rights, and then here comes the bloodline. So, I mean, it was excitement throughout the match.
Okay, so I meant to ask this a long time ago, and I just never have. It doesn't get brought up very often because we don't see a whole lot of triple threats. When did it become in the rule book that a triple threat match means no disqualifications? When did that become a thing?
I'm with you there.
Well, let's turn to the guy that knows things like that. Mike, what do you got?
Well, I think it ended up like that when it's one of the earliest triple threats I can remember is a ECW thing, and that was whenever it started to be the first pinfall or submission is the winner. And ECW was also known for its lack of rules to begin with. And so that's where I think that's where we took the wrong turn somewhere, because there had been three person matches before that where it was an elimination style. And once we got rid of the elimination style upon that match, that's whenever they pulled the rule book from it.
Okay, see, and as a kid, maybe I just didn't pay attention as much, but I feel like it's very like the announcers like harp on it now that it's like, remember, it's triple threat, so no disqualifications. And I just don't remember a whole lot of that in triple threat matches, growing up watching it. So I was like, well, is this something like that they've recently started, so they're harping on it all the time? I didn't know. I was just thinking about it.
I get what you're saying, because I'm right there with you. Like, I don't ever remember that being mentioned, but thinking about it more, I don't ever remember a disqualification happening in a triple threat. But you're right. It is kind of weird that they just all of a sudden are talking about it more now.
And Rick's in the chat, and he's a bit of a historian, said it started back in Smoky Mountain. So, and that's taking it back a little bit there. With this match, so with this particular triple threat, like I said, it held the excitement throughout the whole match. And of course, like I said, right as Randy Orton's got AJ Styles dead to rights, out comes the bloodline and just lays waste. Like, they destroyed everybody. And talking about when you were watching things as a kid, when something like that happened, if Vince came out or whoever the GM was at the time came out and something happened that he didn't like, what was it? He got in the middle of the ring, got on the mic, yelled, screamed, ranted, raved, right? I like the delivery Nick Aldis gave on this, because he didn't get rant and rave. He leaned over to Paul Heyman very quietly and said, tell Roman congrats. He just earned a fatal four-way with all three of them at the Rumble and walked off. Mic drop, gotta go.
No, you forgot when he's done celebrating, tell him congrats.
Yeah, whenever he's done celebrating. It was a great way to deliver that. And it's off of that, routine of Roman Reigns, you did this, so now this is what you're going to get. It was refreshing. I liked it. As far as the show goes, I was really impressed. It's high energy, high octane all night. Nothing really felt like a filler match. I'm throwing A+ on SmackDown.
Heck yeah.
I'm with that.
I do gotta say, it is very nice. It is on a rare occasion that we get to see Paul Heyman get out-sassed on stage. So that was nice. It was good to see. But for me, I guess I'd say, there was nothing that I disliked about SmackDown, which has kind of been a trend for a while now, a couple of months, honestly. I mean, SmackDown hasn't really disappointed in a while for me. So, I mean, I'll just give it an A like I always do. Well, okay, I'll agree with the A plus just because of how they handled the end with actually doing something about the interference for once. Like that was nice, and I mean, it was very reminiscent of one of our own here, point of coming in the ring and making some things happen that no one expects and everyone gets hyped for. So that was nice.
I'm gonna give it just an A because Roman Reigns did not discuss anything the Great One had to say about him or towards him. So it's gonna lose a letter grade because we did not discuss what The Rock had to say at all. So
It's not a better grade. It's still an A.
Mike, how about you? What's your grade on SmackDown?
what the fuck do you say then? It loses points.
I'll give it a 2 thumbs up.
There you go. 2 thumbs up.
I really, it was entertaining.
I enjoy it. So I'm going to turn it over to the boys now, and let's talk about some Raw.
We kind of got a little carried away with SmackDown, so I'm gonna keep it light, but that's because SmackDown's always great. Just a couple of things. Probably my favorite part of the night is kind of where it started was Drew McIntyre and CM Punk had a little promo battle. Starting out with Drew McIntyre just having the mic to himself, which was nice for it not to just be a feud right off the rip, because Drew McIntyre goes hard on the mic.
I love that both of them did the whole like sit up on the corner. Wait,
Yep.
that was gold. It was so funny.
It tripped me out that you actually got the pop from the crowd, because the crowd's kind of been against Drew for a little while now. But whenever Drew propped himself up there on the ropes, you kind of got the pop from the crowd on that.
I also loved when the going gets tough, the Punk gets going. I thought that was fantastic. I mean, Drew
It's been
held his
a
own
month and
very
you're
well.
still here.
Yeah, I was like, I think Drew did very well. Obviously, CM Punk had the last laugh with the "I'll throw you over last."
Yeah, but I mean, that does say a lot for. I believe that Drew McIntyre is still very underrated, and
Yes.
if any of y'all in the chat, which thank you for sticking around, guys. Don't think we forgot about you. But if any of y'all think Drew McIntyre is just kind of a mid guy, CM Punk might be one of the greatest on the mic. He's in the conversation, that's for sure. Get out of my room right now. You gotta go. But Drew McIntyre held his own against someone who is arguably one of the best. So that is, if that doesn't talk about how great Drew is, then I don't know what does.
It was absolutely great promo work to start Raw.
I'll just going over things. My favorite part of the night was Ludwig Kaiser absolutely killing Kofi Kingston. I mean, no one likes to see Kofi get killed, but it was really cool to see that Ludwig is more than just Gunther's henchman. You know, there's something there with him. You know, he has his own character. He has that crazy psycho side. Kofi has something going on because he's rode off TV for a little bit after that.
Yeah.
But
Well, and here's the thing about that. I don't know if it was kayfabe or not, but when they were helping Kofi away from the ring and towards the ramp, he was glassy-eyed, didn't look like he knew what planet he was on. So if he was faking that, he was faking it very well.
yeah, oh yeah. I mean, it just I like that you're doing something with Ludwig more than just yes sir, boss. I'll handle the guy you're fighting, boss. I'll handle the guy you're fighting's henchman, boss.
Yeah, no. And a great part about that is, we have people like we were talking about earlier, like Butch, who can't really yeah. We have people like Butch, who aren't shut up, who aren't like very capable of breaking out, but people like Ludwig Kaiser, who you don't really see much of besides that henchman character. It allows for something new to come, and actually allows for him to break out and become his give credit for himself as a wrestler, as opposed to where he is as a part of Imperium. So I think that's great. Having him booked against Kofi Kingston was a great idea. I was pissed. I love Kofi. I hate seeing him get killed, but I can't deny that the psycho revenge, just pure tunnel vision on ending Kofi Kingston was, it was scary, but it was real. It felt real, and I didn't expect that.
Well, and I'm looking over here at the chat. Just a couple of things to throw out there. Devin saying that from an acting standpoint, that match was actually scary, and I get that. I agree with it. Camino back in here and reminding us all that it's movie.
Yeah, funny stuff. We also had another good promo with R-Truth. It was just kind of a little thing, but it's R-Truth. It was great. Comedy gold.
R-Truth.
Yeah, it's impossible for him to do a bad one.
I remember the doctor held me. He was looking at me.
He's so funny.
If you haven't had a chance to see his whole live, laugh, love, how I joined the Judgment Day thing, go to YouTube and watch it. It is comic gold.
We don't say that.
No, seriously. If y'all haven't seen that, right after the show, look that up because it's so freaking funny.
Damien liked it. So that matters.
Damien did like it.
Yeah. So, a couple other things. We have Nia Jax saying that she's coming for Rhea Ripley's title. We had The Miz and JD McDonough go at it for a little bit. The Miz obviously won just to kind of bury JD McDonough a little more.
I got to throw one quick little thing out about that particular match. For once again, those of us who are a bit seasoned, and I don't know if you guys have seen the match, so I don't know if you would know about it, but whenever The Miz was kicking JD's leg to make him do a backflip, that's kind of a throwback, kind of a callback to Bret Hart and Mr. Perfect whenever they had their IC title match.
I've been seeing a lot of different little spots here lately that are kind of playoffs to spots that have happened beforehand.
And The Miz is doing a lot of them.
Yeah.
Well, it's cool. I like it. Just as looking at it analytically, I'm a little confused because I'm I don't get why the people that have done it are those people. The Miz, for some of them, kind of makes sense because he is seasoned, not old, in WWE. So he would know these kinds of things. So that kind of makes sense for some of them. You can make that stretch, but some of them I'm kind of
Bret Hart, Mr. Perfect, those are the guys that The Miz would have looked up to, would have been inspirations for him learning to wrestle. So taking something from a huge IC match that they had and incorporating it into their match, I just thought it was cool. Thought it deserved a mention.
Okay, well, yeah, no, it definitely does. Whether it's on purpose or not, it is very cool to see that happening these days for people like the seasoned wrestling watchers. We also had.
That doesn't mean old, J-Reb.
I think he was talking about you, not us.
You know what?
We also had Ivar and Otis had a match. Yeah, it was I wanted to give that awkward silence for you there. Otis ended up losing, and but Ivar had his match with Bronson Reed before this. That was his last week's match, and it was good. It was very good. There were some crazy spots, which was great to see from two big men. My issue with the match with Otis is that there was a lack of that. It wasn't a bad match, but there was nothing really spectacular like there was when he faced Bronson Reed. So that kind of took it away from me because I knew that he was capable of it.
Well, it's a big man match, and you get your big man matches. I think anytime Ivar does his moonsault, it's freaking awesome. And I think the only real thing I saw from Otis that I thought was cool was catching Ivar when he jumped off the middle rope.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool.
And I mean, that is why the big man matches are awesome, is because stuff like that, just sheer shows of strength.
The refs screwed Chelsea Green out of her titles because they don't pay attention. She won it with a Rough Rider. She used Matt Cardona's move. And stupid ref didn't turn around to catch it. It was like a second count, and the ref was still there just lollygagging with, it was ridiculous. And then to end it all, she's going to get dropped on by freaking, I almost said Dewdrop, Piper Niven, because the ref don't want to pay. It shouldn't have even been that far. Shouldn't have progressed to this point. I would be taking it up with a manager. That is for sure.
Well, maybe we'll get to see that Mr. Gonna be in a match on Saturday.
We don't got to see that
Why not?
because I'm going to win.
Oh. Yeah. For if y'all didn't watch Raw, Chelsea Green lost the tag titles with her and Piper Niven, and then Katana Chase and Caden Carter won out. Even though, like you said, there's a lot of shenanigans happening there. It was a little upsetting to see. Tommaso Ciampa and Finn Balor had a match.
Good
and
match.
Johnny Gargano and Damian Priest kind of thugged it out in the background. Kind of gave little mitts. But it was a great match. Those are two very just technical wrestlers. So putting them against each other was great. Getting to see Ciampa win was nice. Not really expected, so it was nice. But I'm kind of at the point now where I want to see Finn Balor win. Because, I mean, I like the guy. I like the wrestler, and he's kind of not really won in a while. Seth Rollins cut a promo about the Royal Rumble. Then
The GOAT,
stop, bro.
Jinder Mahal, came out.
Stop. I don't know if y'all know. I very much dislike Jinder Mahal, and the fact that his return was supposed to be a big deal in management's eyes pissed me off.
Dude, Jinder Mahal was like the third highest trending name on Twitter yesterday.
No one knows who he is because he sucks.
Because he came out and he gets a title shot. Obviously, that's going to happen during this whole promo. Well, Tony Khan tweeted out, it was like, oh, but Hook comes out and demands one, and who is 28-1 in wrestling, and he demands a title shot, and everyone's like, oh my gosh. But Jinder Mahal comes out, and it makes total sense. And Jinder Mahal tweets out and is like, who is Hook? Tune in to Monday Night Raw.
Okay. I gotta give it to Devin over here in the chat. I think he feels kind of the same way about Jinder Mahal, as he says, and the crowd went mild.
Yeah, nobody he came out and everyone was like, okay,
What?
all right.
I mean, he was obviously a swerve to bring in The Rock.
Yeah, but they should have just done The Rock. Let's be honest.
Changed to go.
But Seth Rollins kind of made fun of him during that promo, and it was funny. Like I said, there's a title shot coming, and it's whatever. Because if Seth Rollins loses the title to Jinder Mahal, there might be dead day on the podcast. Like I'll look like freaking Ludwig Kaiser and looking at Kofi like heated. And then to end the show, we had so to give it some backstory, there was a backstage fight earlier in the show with Cody Rhodes and Shinsuke Nakamura, which allowed Cody to convince the refs to allow the match to be a street fight. So there's no disqualifications, and they had a great match. I'm kind of confused, and I don't know about y'all, but I've seen a lot of memes about it, about, Cody Rhodes' path. How, he was, his whole thing when he came back was, finish the story. And now he's like, finish the story after 25 side chapters of other stuff. When it's just kind of funny that they keep like hinting at it, but also not. And either way, he always puts on
adventure.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, he keeps just coming back to it after he finishes the side quests.
Wrong page.
But he's still either way, whether the story's not there or not, or it is, he puts on a great show, and so does Shinsuke. I mean, it was a phenomenal match. I think SmackDown's closer main event was spectacular. I can't say it's better than Raw's, but Raw competed with it, and which is great for me. Because we have someone like Randy Orton, LA Knight, and AJ Styles. I mean, huge names with Cody Rhodes and Shinsuke, also huge names. But I mean, Randy Orton, LA Knight, AJ Styles, like, come on. But I think Cody and Shinsuke really lived up to that main event, making it try to pop as much.
And don't forget, main event, Jey Uso is set a goal to become mid-card event, Jey Uso.
Yeah.
He's going to catch a singles title this year.
And let's take just a moment to remember that poor timekeeper that caught the poison mist during the match.
Yeah, it was so close to. He caught all of the mist. Like, usually it's like you get like the middle and then it like goes past. No, he got all of it.
Yeah, he did. So,
Oh man, but
I'm glad. I was just going to throw a grade out for Raw.
yeah, I grade. I'm gonna give it an A. Raw's been kind of more on the B side for me, and I think that this was kind of above the average for him. So I think it's very deserving of an A.
I can agree with an A. It was all right. Nothing above the ordinary, I guess. I can't go up like you did to an A+. But, I mean, it was a normal Raw. You had great promos. The matches were good, quality matches. Yeah, the GOAT made an appearance.
It's a D, Jinder Mahal.
So, I think, we're going to go A.
I think I'm going to go, I don't know, it's riding that line of B+ and A for me, just because there was some filler to this. And I'm not going to lie, I personally enjoyed SmackDown more than I did Raw, because SmackDown brought some things and Raw was, like you said, it was your standard Raw. So I'm going to go ahead and give it a B+ for me.
You're talking about riding the line, which kind of moves us on to our main event of tonight. Someone who rides the line between.
Hold on. Oh, we ain't quite there yet.
Segue, man.
We ain't there yet. I do, before we get into your segue, we do have one other thing to talk about. Of course, now that we've talked about all the TV time stuff, and normally this is the part where I would talk about AEW, but I'm afraid Tony Khan's going to come after me on Twitter, so we're not going to do that. So we've got some live wrestling coming up soon. Coming up really soon, actually. We've got some this weekend. We've got some January 20th, next Saturday night, SCP Collision Course, Jake's Back Room, Lubbock, Texas. It's a stacked card. You've got Misty Marks versus Maserati for the women's title. That match put together by the new women's division general manager and absolute legend Medusa. You've got a double debut match with Panther Rodriguez and Mateo Ozuna. You've got a 6-pack challenge for the Heck Yeah Radio iPay-per-view title, which puts Chris Watson against Rob Boris, Justin Taylor, Lilith Blood, Marquise Jackson, and somebody to be determined the night of the show. I would be lying if I said I didn't want Lilith Blood to grab Chris Watson by his short and curlies and throw him around the ring. It then just throw his damn duster on top of him.
Lilith Blood's going to make him look like a child.
But we've got that match. Of course, we'll get more into these matches next week when we have our week run-up. But that match a little different because it starts out with 3 people, and then every time somebody's eliminated, the next person comes in. That way there's still 3 people until we have a winner. You've got Gabriel Alexander going against Lau in an Asian death match. That's going to be wild. You've got your Squared Circle Pro champion, Sam Stackhouse. Things changing up a little bit. Initially, Sam Stackhouse going to be going against LC Mox. Don't have all the information in on it yet. LC Mox not going to be able to make that show. So Sam Stackhouse will find out who his opponent is day of the show. I'm thinking. I haven't heard one way or the other, but at the moment, I think Bruss is volunteering to be in the match.
I got it. I will do great at being a Butch clone and get my ass beat.
Yes, that's exactly what happened.
Big guy.
We also have the first round of with that match, with the Sam Stackhouse and mystery opponent match. As soon as we have more information, we will bring that information out to you. So be watching the socials. As soon as we know something, we'll make sure you guys know it. We're also going to have the first round of the tag team tournament. You've got the Russell twins. No, I'm not talking about you and Little Guapo. I'm talking about Cameron and Alan Russell debuting against Certified Wild Card, our boy Jeb Bingham, Draven Reeves. We've got more longtime friends of the show, Downfall Cathedral, Ramrock and Ryan Riven, going against 2 members of the Gallery of the Damned. We've got 2 members of La Migra and going against Island Rage, which of course is Brian Rage Rivera, Baby Samoa. I don't care if the card does call for 2 members of La Migra. If there's 2 members of La Migra out there, there's 5 members out there. It's just what it is because they can't do it right. They got. And La Migra may be going, well, what did I do? Why are you getting at me? Well, you know what? You're getting this because you was with it. You decide to bring Chris Watson in there. You get this too. You're going to get the smoke also.
Yeah.
And then, of course, our last one, Los Cardales, which is Milo Guzman and JC Bravo versus The Riot, Reggie Lincoln and Stonewall Rimson. All in all, this is a stacked card, and I'm looking forward to it. Action after action after action. It's going to be great.
And it looks like Mike has a couple of thoughts on it.
And what?
It looks like Mike has a couple of thoughts on it.
What are your thoughts there, Mike?
Well, I was just getting tickled at how animated you get over the fact of Chris Watson and La Migra. I mean, hell, I've had history with these guys, and I don't even have this kind of animosity with them.
Well, you have to understand, Chris Watson came on our podcast, said, I'm going to win the title from Gino Rivera, and I'm going to win it for you, Guapo, and I'm going to win it for your sons, and I'm going to win it for everybody that listens to your podcast. And then he did this to all of us, and no, I ain't having it. Damn him. He can kiss my ass. And La Migra, you can have that smoke too because you're with him.
Clip it right now. Clip it. Yeah. So, yeah. That our whole next week is we're gonna have a week of podcasts. So make sure y'all pop out just peek in, see what's up. We'll get to talk about the card a little more in depth. We're gonna have special guests the whole time. So yeah, make sure you come and see. But now So speaking of, being on the line between too good and too great, we have BCW happening this Saturday. Talk about a stacked freaking card. Not only is everyone involved some of the most talented in West Texas, like it always is at BCW, we also have one of our own who's not here. Just kidding. The Lil Guapo getting to be in the card, getting to have his bear hug challenge with Scar. I'll let you take it away with the card.
Let's start with that match. Let's start with the bear hug challenge. Of course, if you weren't at the last show, if you haven't been watching some of the stuff we've had going on, Scar at the last show called out our own Little Guapo for his trash talk and said, you know what? You want to talk to trash? Come step in the ring. Mike broke land speed records coming from the back to keep that from happening then, and set it up for this Saturday. So Scar versus Little Guapo, bear hug challenge. Son, tell him about it.
If you go back and watch any podcast I've been a part of before the challenge, any podcast after the challenge, the answer does not change that I am going to break it, obviously. I've gotten this far. I've got a plan. Me and Baby Bruss have been practicing, and
Very sore now.
it's become quite flawless. So I got a plan of attack. Can't share my secrets, obviously, but you want to see, you just going to have to pop out Saturday. I already, said multiple times, just waiting for Mike. Hopefully he's delivered the word to tell Guerrilla Militia to get the shirt ready because I'm a new member. And yeah, we'll be good. I'll see y'all on Saturday whenever I break the bear hug challenge.
A secret I can share after all of our training is Scar might cry. All I'm going to say.
That's a tall order there, Mike. You're hearing all of this for the first time. You've heard Scar's side of it. Now you've heard Little Guapo's side. What do you got?
Man, I've been waiting to hear this.
That's true. Uh-oh.
Hold on, Mike. We can't hear you.
Hold on.
Time out. We can't hear you.
It sounds like you're so far away.
Sorry about this, everyone. Maybe it was the.
Testing. How's this?
Okay, I can kind of catch you there. Go ahead.
All right. I've been in the ring with Scar. Scar has hurt me. It has not been pretty. I am 6'3" and 240 pounds. You are small. Let's hope you have something.
That's my advantage,
that's
Mike.
between those
That's my
ears
advantage.
That's going. All I'm saying is, this is on you. BCW is not responsible for this. Whatever happens to you is your own fault because you've ran your mouth this much.
Okay.
Just so it's said, so you know, Dad's insurance doesn't cover either. So,
but okay. But what happens when I break it and I do all these great things for BCW because I'm the first one to break it? So BCW is not responsible for the bad, but they're responsible for the good? What's going on here?
Yeah, and
do I get like the concessions from my event, my part of it, because BCW is not a part of it, or what?
All I'm saying is, you're at your own risk on this. You do great things. Hey, congratulations. You're going to do great things. But if it goes the other way, I don't know what to tell you.
Yes, I will, my boy.
Your dad
But
already has your promo for
if the rule,
so
Here, triple threat.
if we know anything about wrestling as not your average marks, it's that if it is at your own risk,
It seems like they may have froze up just a little bit there.
party.
Yeah, you guys are froze up, sounding real robotic there. They're resetting there. Oh, here they are. They're back.
Oh yeah. All I wanted to say was that if we get to see
Don't call Scotco. Call
better
guys.
Call Guys Plumbing, Heating, and Air, not Scotco.
if whether we're gonna see a 3-bell salute at BCW or we're gonna see Scar's bear hug be broken for the first time, you better be there at the TMW Event Center in Levelland, Texas on Saturday.
Agreed. And so we've talked about that. Let's get into some of the rest of the card here. And Mike, I'm gonna run through it with you here. We've got Jeb Bingham, our boy, longtime friend of the show, going against a mystery opponent to be named at the event. So you've said before that this is Jeb's road back to the title, as the winner of this match goes on to Wilson in February to the next stage of this competition to get to that title. So, Jeb doesn't know who he's going against, so he's got to prepare for all comers. What can you tell us about this match?
Well, I can tell you right now, Jeb has always been one to think on his feet. He's somebody that has been able to adapt and overcome. And I see that he has the want, the need to actually get back this title that he lost and redeem himself. And he's doing this without the wild card mask now because, he said it himself. Jeb is good enough. He's just got to get himself in that mental state to where he has that confidence, and that's what he's working on right now.
If you ask me, I don't think there's more of a better opportunity to show that he can make it, because he's already shown that he is capable of putting forth a good product without the wild card persona. But now he gets to just challenge anyone, say anyone come and fight me, and I think that that's a very honorable showing of that he's ready to put forth greatness without the mask.
Well, and for me, for the almost a year that we've been following Jeb in his career, the one thing that can be said from then to now is there is zero quit in Jeb Bingham. There is zero stop in Jeb Bingham. And I don't know who this mystery opponent's going to be, but I will say that whoever it is had best be ready, because even without wild card, Jeb Bingham is enough, and Jeb Bingham is hungry for this. So that's going to be a match I'm really looking forward to. We also have, of course, the person that won the title from Jeb Bingham, of course, our BCW Texas champ, the defender of truth, Gabriel Alexander, is going to be in action. If I saw correctly, and correct me if I'm wrong, Mike, the powers that be, and I'm guessing that's you, got some information, received a request, and now that match is going to be Gabriel Alexander versus TJ Slater.
It is not a match.
It's not a match.
No. TJ has requested that he gets to have a face-to-face confrontation and get to tell Gabriel how he feels about the situation. I'm granting this. If something should happen because of it, well, then it is what it is.
Okay, so they're getting
I
a
know
face to
Greg Drake.
face then.
Yes.
I have had the I've had the chance to watch TJ Slater, and there's a fire burning in that guy. So the chances of something popping off, especially the way he feels about gold and getting a title, the chances of something popping off in that are kind of high, in my opinion. Are you prepared for that as, the man in charge?
Yes, I am. I have. I've got some security that I haven't normally had that will be there. So if for some reason something insane breaks out, I will have some extra coverage.
Heck yeah. And I mean, you're gonna have you. I know you've been known to lay the smack down every once in a while.
Me and my guerrilla militia compadres can hold down the fort.
He's gonna join him.
Well, speaking of Mike being the boss man, we've got something going on Saturday night that's been a long time coming, and I'm all about it. Of course, we get a night in the spotlight. Logan Knight showing up. Logan Knight showing up after being, just a little butthurt at the last show. Wasn't able to make it out. He's here. He's going to be there Saturday night. And his special guest, the one and only Mike Caldwell. Now, there has been some things a brewing there for a little bit now. Logan's gone over your head a couple of times to get the things that he wants. I think that's honestly how he got this spot with the Night in the Spotlight. What can we you've put it to me before. You've told me straight up that you are retired and you don't wrestle anymore, but he's got a big mouth, man. What you're going to be face to face with him. Tell us what you've got going.
He owes me an interview. He gets to sit there and he's going to listen to what I have to say. And if he has something to say, I will listen to him. I will hear him out. He can air his grievances with management face to face in front of the crowd.
I somehow don't think that he's going to be able to do that.
I get to say my grievances with him.
See, and that's the part I think we as a podcast and the crowd that's going to be there, I think that's the part that we're waiting for, because we've heard him run his mouth a few times. I think we're all waiting to hear what Mike has to say to him. So I think that's going to be pretty awesome. I'm looking forward to that.
And just like we're all excited to see the great Mike get to show Logan and give him his what for, I think you guys should be excited that tickets can be sold at the door or online. You can buy them online right now. So all I'm saying is y'all can be there. It's cheap. It is professional level for a bargain price. So y'all come out, y'all be there and get to see, this great guy who we've shown earlier in other podcasts and earlier today has just an amazing mind for this world of wrestling, get to be a part of it and show, some of these other wrestlers, these cockroaches, if you will, Logan Knight, exactly what they need to hear.
No, I think it's going to be good, and I'm interested to see how that face to face turns out. Now, you were talking, son, about Guerrilla Militia. They, of course, in the building as well. The last time we saw them, they were a little upset at the fact that they don't have tag team gold. So they made it clear that they're after the BCW old school tag titles, and they're taking the first step towards that with Nathan Briggs, who'll have Jason Zane in his corner, going against Justin James with Big Ced in his corner. I don't know what the hell Nathan Briggs and Jason Zane are thinking, because the Guerrilla Militia are just gigantic people, and they have gigantic attitudes to go with being gigantic people. So that's a scary combination.
So at the last show, as like a precursor, I got a picture with them because I was like, this will be our new picture whenever I join. And I got to hold one of the titles that they had brought with them. That thing, I mean, I see why they're so freaking massive. That thing weighed like 150 pounds. I was like, geez, Louise, man.
Yeah, those are some pretty big titles.
Thank goodness that the Bear Hug Challenge doesn't involve a belt, because then you'd have to be carrying one around.
All right, now you're just getting crazy.
So
Hey,
I'm looking at the chat over here, and
I know what I'm talking about.
judging by Mike's face, I'm thinking he looked at the chat as well. Seraph asking, are we going to see a Logan Knight versus Bruss?
All I'm saying, if he swings on Mike, we will.
Oh,
Shut up. Oh my God.
So, Mike, I'm going to ask you regarding this match with Guerrilla Militia and Nathan Briggs, Jason Zane. Of course, the match itself is Nathan Briggs and Justin James, but Jason Zane, very, very crafty. Been in the game for a little while, and do you know them better than we do, of course. Do you think that craftiness can counteract the size and the power of the Guerrilla Militia?
You can't counter.
I think that they have a really good chance. Nathan Briggs and Jason Zane both are very, very intelligent people. Briggs likes to play around, likes to pretend he's the loose screw and everything else, but really and truly, he's a genius behind those eyes, and he has dealt with some very, very big people before and came out on top. So you never know what's going to happen.
It'll be interesting to see exactly what does happen there, and what a feather in the hat of Nathan Briggs if this match goes their way, to say that I was in the ring with Justin James, and you know what? I won that match. So I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of pulling for him. Guerrilla Militia boys, you got my boys, got the big said shirt right there, but I kind of want to see how this one plays out.
All I know is that match, whichever way it goes, is going to be great, because
Yes.
Guerrilla Militia and Nathan Briggs and Jason Zane both put up an amazing product. It doesn't matter how you look at it. So them two going against each other, I mean, I'm just very excited for the concept of the match in general.
And of course, we've got one more match on the card, and that is the Texas Terror. Is he still doing Texas Terror? Most of the things I've seen branded lately have been the Thunderbird, Damo McCullough, going against the Cajun City Show-Off, Dorian Robinson. Now, anybody that's seen Damo wrestle knows that he's a force to be reckoned with, but Dorian has pissed him off. Put a promo out with the little Kurt Angle style cowboy hat on, and called him out in his promo for being just another character. And so he's got the big cowboy hat, he's got the bull rope, he's Texas strong, but he's just another character, and he's about to be welcomed to show-off territory. I would not want to be Dorian Robinson right now, because there's no way Damo didn't see that, and there's no way Damo's not pissed about that.
Well, see, Damo is a calculated individual. Whenever he gets in his mindset of what he's got going, if he doesn't have his emotions on his sleeve, then he can be even more dangerous than what he has. And right now, this Thunderbird transition that he's doing, it's not the same Damo McCullough. He seems a little bit more in control of what he's doing, and he's getting that seasoning that with all of the time on the road and everything else that he's doing, he's getting, I don't even have the word in my mouth. It's different. There's something about him that worries me.
Well, see, the fact that there's something that worries you is starting to worry me, because that's a little wild. But before we continue talking about that, just got a message. Going to have to throw it out there for you. Of course, you know we've got weather going all over the place right now. The boys are out in Canyon, Texas right now, and the storm's getting a little crazy out there. They just lost power. So don't know if they're going to make it back on. Both the boys wanted me to say thank you to you, Mike, for being on the show. Of course, we'll talk more about that here in just a few minutes, but they wanted to give their thanks to you since they're not, power went out and they can't be here, for not only for being on the show, but for allowing them to be a part of this.
Well, I appreciate all the work that everybody else is doing as well, because this right here, putting these shows on is not just a one-man operation. It takes a village. And with the help that you guys do, I'm getting help from all kinds of areas. And the main thing that I've kind of pulled from some of my mentors is the fact that it is not just the promoter's responsibility. I mean, yes, you're the head of the snake, but you have to have all the right people in the right areas, and that makes your life a little bit easier. And I'm getting those things in place right now.
Well, I know I'm excited for this show. Again, BCW Dangerous this Saturday night, January 13th, TMW Event Center, Levelland, Texas, 202 Avenue H. There is no reason for you not to be there. It's going to be a nice day. I heard it's supposed to be 64, 65 degrees. Perfect wrestling weather, man.
That's good. It's going to be nice.
So we're getting to that time in the show where we're going to start wrapping up, Mike. So as I like to do, I'm going to turn this over to you. Final thoughts, anything you want to say to the people listening, anything you want to say to the people watching? The floor is yours, my friend.
Okay, we're forgetting the biggest star of this entire show that we're doing on Saturday. The biggest star is the Salvation Army, and the fact that we're raising money for the Salvation Army. It's not, I'm not getting paid anything for this. All the profit is going straight to them. Whatever costs that I have, they're covered. And as soon as that's done, everything else goes straight to the Salvation Army as a donation. And that's one of the things that these entities need to thrive, is they need funding. So
Absolutely.
We're happy to be a part of that. I really hope to see as many people as possible out there at the TMW Event Center this Saturday. And I really have a good feeling about this whole situation.
And I agree with you completely. I think it's going to be a great show. I do want to kind of reiterate something Rick said last week. I don't think you and BCW Texas get enough credit for that fact. Your last 3 shows, you did a show to benefit first responders. You did a show to show appreciation to our veterans. You're doing a show to benefit Salvation Army, and the give back to the community in this, I don't think is brought up enough. I don't think it's talked about enough, much like Rick said last week. And I just want to give my own personal thank you, and on behalf of the podcast, thank you for that, for not only giving the community entertainment, but giving back to the community as well.
Well, right now it is our goal to grow our audience, but to do it in a sense to where we're going to be able to give back. And that's kind of our direction in 2024 as far as Texas goes, is we are planning to do a lot for nonprofits. We're planning on doing a lot for the community itself. And we're not asking for any thanks or any recognition for any of this. We just want to be in a better place.
Well, and this is, I feel like this is definitely the way to do it. So I guess for my final thoughts, you are doing more, as Mike's talking about, you're doing more than coming to a wrestling show when you buy a ticket for this event. I mean, yes, you're coming to a wrestling show and you're going to be greatly entertained because everybody on this show is top level talent. I feel like Little Guapo's head is just growing because he heard me say that. But seriously, everybody out there is just top level talent, and they are going to entertain you and you're going to enjoy the show. But not only are you helping bring more of that to Levelland, bring more shows, bring bigger shows, you're helping the Salvation Army, and the Salvation Army helps so many people. And this is your opportunity to be a part of that. So make sure you get your ticket for this show. Make sure I don't know how many times I've said it. I think I say it at every show. If you've never been to see West Texas independent wrestling, it's like a drug. So if you come to this show, you're going to find yourself ready for the next one. So get your tickets for the BCW show this Saturday. Get your tickets for Squared Circle Pro next Saturday. Come be a part of West Texas independent wrestling and see that there's nothing like it anywhere else. It's not what you see on TV. It's not, it's so much more. And I can't give you any other way to describe it other than it's like a drug. J-Rab, my boy Cameron, out there trying to Texas, California, says he can't do West Texas drugs. He lives too far away. That's okay. That's okay. We'll make sure, we break your little something off there, Cameron. But I want to say thank you to you, Mike, for everything you do for BCW, for the way you help the community, for being on our show and allowing us to be a part of yours. I want to say thank you to everybody in the chat. We've got Wildcard, we've got Cameron, we've got Rick, we've got Camino. Thank you to all our new followers. We've got we've got Devin Coley. I appreciate you guys coming in and checking everything out. We are going to be live at the TMW Event Center this Saturday. Come check it out. Get your tickets. Come see us. Stop by the table. Come say hi to us. We'd love to put some faces to some of the names we haven't met yet. That's going to about do it for us tonight. Get your tickets. Be in Levelland Saturday night because that's where we're going to be. Until then, I'm Guapo. He's Mike Caldwell. And we are not your average marks. We'll see y'all next time. Yeah.
I'm good with drowning.